What up, y'all? How are y'all doing? I'm here to talk about another banger right here. Outkast releasing their second album, ATLiens, of August 27, 1996. Happy 30 years to this classic right here, and it was released through Arista Records and LaFace Records from 95 through 96. Outkast recorded the album in sessions at several Atlanta studios, Bosstown Recording Studios, Doppler Recording Studios, PatchWerk Recording Studio, Purple Dragon Studios, and Studio LaCoCo, as well as Chung Recording Studio and Sound Recording in New York. Man, I gotta tell y'all, I love this album. I love the title track and two dope boys riding the Cadillac. You May Die intro and Wheels of Steel, Babylon, Mainstream, Wailin, Jazzy Bell, Elevators, Me and You, over the woods, over the woods, 13th floor, growing old, elevators, DNP mix, classic stuff, man. Love this record. This will always be a classic forever, no doubt about that, man. To let y'all know, this is a classic forever. So it's actually ONP 86 mix for elevators. And you also got ET, Millennium, Decatur Psalm, Decatur Psalm, ET Extraterrestrial, classic stuff, man. Just classics. Love this album. Nobody could ever duplicate a classic like this in a lifetime. I'm gonna let y'all know that. So more history to this. The album features an outer space inspiration production sounds with Outkast and producers organized noise and incorporating elements of dub and gospel into the composition. Several songs feature the duo's first attempt at producing music by themselves. And lyrically, the group discusses a wide range of topics, including urban life as hustlers and existential introspection and extraterrestrial life. And the album's title is a portmanteau of ATL, which is an abbreviation of Atlanta, Georgia, the duo's hometown, and Aliens, which has been interpreted by critics as symbolizing the duo's feeling of being estranged from American society. And then the album debuted at number 2 on the U.S. Billboard 200 chart, and it sold nearly 350,000 copies of its first week of the release, of the first 2 weeks of its release, and the album was very well received by music critics upon its release, who praised its unique sound and lyrical content. Oh boy, it's hot. It has been certified double platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, and for shipments of 2 million copies in the U.S., and the album spawned the singles Elevators, Me and You, ATLiens / Wheels of Steel, and Jazzy Bell. And since its release, the album has been listed by several magazines and critics as one of the greatest records of all time. Albums of all time, for real. And in 94, when they released their debut, Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music, which was recorded when members Big Boy and Andre 3000 were 18 years old, had bolstered by the success by the single Players Ball. The record established Outkast as prominent figures in the southern hip-hop scene, and after the album was certified platinum, LaFace Records gave Outkast more creative control and advanced money for their 96 follow-up, which is this classic. And the duo took the opportunity to recreate their image. On a trip to Jamaica with producer Mr. DJ, the two decided to abandon their cornrow hairstyles in favor of a more natural aesthetic, vowing to stop combing their hair. Dudgeon family head member Big Rube observed as increase in the duo's confidence after returning from their first tour, remarking they started understanding the power that they had in their music, and they started showing a swagger that certain artists have, and the ones that are stars, The members also underwent changes in their personal lives in '95. Big Boy's girlfriend gave birth to their first child, and Andre 3000 Total's Keisha Spivey ended their 2-year relationship. And despite of its success, Southern playlistic Cadillac music had some detractors, including hip hop tastemakers who were unaccustomed to the album's style. And as the East Coast and West Coast hip hop scenes were already established at that time, many did not view the South as a legitimate and respectable scene. And then at the '95 Source Awards and an award ceremony held by the Source magazine, they won in the Best Newcomer category, but they were booed upon taking the stage and delivering their acceptance speech. In response of Andre 3000 said, "The South got something to say." He later recalled how the album was received by some listeners. People had thought that the South basically only had bass music. At first, people were looking at us like, I don't know. Taken aback by the backlash, Andre 3000 and Big Boy channeled their frustration in the situation. Their frustration of that situation in the studio to improve upon their debut. And then after acquiring their own recording studio, the duo had immediately started working on their new material and assimilated themselves with music recording and studio equipment as they sought to become more ambitious artists and less dependent on the other producers. And the two also became more accustomed to playing live, particularly Big Boy and Andre 3000 significantly changed his lifestyle. He adopted a more eccentric fashion sense, becoming a vegetarian. He had since resumed eating meat and stopped smoking marijuana. And having dropped out months before graduation, Andre 3000 returned to high school to earn his diploma during the recording of ATLiens. And before beginning working on the album, he purchased an SP1200 drum machine, an MPC 3000 sampler, a Tascam mixing board, and turntables with stacks of classic records. Although he never produced a song before, he used techniques learned from observing the Dudgeon crew at work. And Elevator's Millennieu was the first song the duo created together for the album. The duo also refrained from sampling on the album, with Big Boy explaining, "I feel like you cheat the listener and when you sample. If it's an old school jam, leave it to the old. We want to hear our own school of music." And then they recorded the album in sessions at several Atlanta studios, which I already mentioned. It was Bosstown Recording Studios, Doppler Recording Studios, PatchWerk Recording Studios, including Chung Recording Studio, and Sound on Sound Recording Studio in New York. Sound on Sound recorded in New York. And then for the album, the band aimed for a consistent set of songs in which a listener would not need to skip tracks. Outkast wrote around 35 songs for the album and reduced them to 14. And the duo's songwriting style for the album had no solid structure and it was mostly spontaneous. Big Boy noted that stuff will just come to you. I'll be sitting in the truck and I'll start rhyming. People look at me, I'm crazy, but that's how it starts. And then 2/3 of the album is produced by Organized Noise, and Outkast's primary production team. The rest is produced by Earth Tone III, a production team that includes Outkast themselves, Mr. DJ, Andre 3000, and Big Boy produced the songs Jazzy Bell and Elevator's Millennieu. It also has a notably more laid-back, spacey production sound, which they expanded upon on their follow-up album, Equimini. Although the group had drew from George Clinton's Outer Space inspiration compositions, the band utilizes a more laid-back style as opposed to Clinton's hard funk leanings. And then many tracks feature strong echo and reverb, taking influence from dub and reggae. Andrea Comer of the Hartford Courant perceives that an extraterrestrial feel in the record's production. And then MTV have wrote that the album's production built giddy, chaotic hooks around throbbing bass grooves, neck-snapping drums, and bits of backwoods. and psychedelic rock for good measure. And then Outkast also incorporated elements of gospel into the music, being from the South, and the group felt obligated to stay close their slave roots. And the album's introduction track, "You May Die," has been described as churchy. Elevators, Me and You contains atmospheric elements, including echoes and dub influence based organ riffs and telephone tones. And the 13th floor slash growing old contains a spoken word introduction from Big Rube. Somber Soul's vocals from Deborah Killings, and a Prince-ish piano riff, while Wheels of Steel features a furious turntable scratching by Mr. DJ. Extraterrestrial offers a break in the continuity of the record, as it features no drum beat at all. And then Andre 3000, lyrically, him and Big Boy abandoned the hard partying play-up characters of their debut album in favor of a more spacey, funky, and futuristic personals on ATLiens. With their lyrics, the duo hoped to reflect on maturity in the wake of the birth of Big Boy's daughter. And then Andre had explained that it's like everybody's talking about sipping champagne and being big time, so we just look upon it ourselves to do something new. I want my children to say, Daddy really said something. He wasn't just trying to brag on himself. Many songs on ATLiens had featured more an unconventional subject matter on himself, and a subject matter for hip hop. The lyrical content ranges from addressing urban life as hustlers and pimps, and to extraterrestrial life and space travel. And then the title track's chorus expresses Southern pride, while its verse is Andre 3000 explaining his newly adopted drug-free lifestyle. Man, this album really put a lot of history, man. This is a really big-time classic. Is there more I gotta say? I might as well. So the album was released of today through LaFace Records, and oh boy, which customers could enter to win a 1970s Cadillac. So, and then in September, they created a promotion for the record in conjunction with Blockbuster, in which customers could earn to win a 1970s Cadillac car, emphasizing Outkast and Cadillac's connection with the Southern lifestyle. Oh man, shoot, if I was 20-something or 30-something in that era, I'd be happy to get that Cadillac. I would drive a 1970s Caddy, because I love them Cadillacs. So, anyways, the record's inner booklet features a 24-page comic strip fold out, a strip fold out, starring the members who must defend positive music against the villain, Nosamoli. The strip continues in the artwork for each single released from the album, except for Elevators and Me and You. Elevators, Me and You. And the album had debuted at number 2 on the U.S. Billboard 200 chart, and it sold nearly 350,000 copies of its first week since of the release. Man, nobody could ever duplicate a classic like this, man. Nobody can. Nobody. What is your favorite song off this classic? Don't forget to hit that like and sub and comment and follow your boy for more, and I will be glad to really return. Y'all have a blessed one and stay safe. If you don't have this record, definitely go search for it and bump it on your turntables. Peace, y'all.